Let's look at what you can expect from your total FERS retirement package. That means your FERS annuity, your Social Security benefit, and your thrift savings plan account balance. In this video, we're going to take a look at 3 possible scenarios for a FERS employee who can retire at her MRA, minimum retirement age, of 57, or she can wait until she's eligible for a reduced Social Security benefit at 62, or she can wait even later until she reaches her Social Security full retirement age, or FRA, at 67. We'll see how her total benefit can grow depending on when she retires from her federal career and begins receiving each of the 3 benefits in the total FERS retirement package. We'll assume an average salary for her of $100,000 if she retires at 57, and we'll increase that average salary assuming that she retires at 62 or at 67. To calculate her TSP balance at retirement, we'll assume that at age 40 she had a balance of $175,580, and this will grow substantially by the time she retires. In fact, it will continue to grow even after she retires if she chooses not to begin withdrawals immediately. If she retires at age 57, she'd be eligible to receive a FERS annuity supplement, a payment based on the estimated benefit the Social Security has computed for her if she applied for a Social Security benefit at age 62. We'll assume that her Social Security benefit at age 62 would be $18,900, and based on this figure, if she doesn't apply for Social Security until her FRA at 67, her benefit would then be $25,200. We'll also assume the following actuarial life expectancies. These will be used to calculate lifetime benefits from TSP. They are the rough estimates projecting a life expectancy in all cases of 87 years, and the TSP monthly payments based on that figure would last until she reached that age. So retiring at 57, she could draw 1/30th of her account for 30 years, but at 62 it would be 1/25th for 25 years, and at 67, 1/20th for 20 years. Here then are the 3 scenarios we'll be looking at. Actually, there are 4, with the second being a subset of the first. In that first scenario, we look at her retiring at age 57 with 30 years of service. At this point, she can get her FERS annuity based on her 30 years of service, plus a FERS annuity supplement and an actuarial monthly TSP payment. The supplement will be based on a percentage of the estimated Social Security benefit she would receive at age 62. In the subset, we'll look at what her benefit would be if she retired at age 57 but held off on Social Security benefits and TSP withdrawals until she was 67. At 67, her Social Security benefit would be at the full rate. It would not be reduced by any post-retirement earnings, and her TSP would have grown at an annual rate of 2.5% in each of the 10 years after her FERS retirement. In the second scenario, she retires at age 62 now with 35 years of service. She'd qualify for a FERS annuity, of course, and it's going to be greater because of her additional 5 years of work, and also because of the more generous annuity computation she will receive because she's 62 with more than 20 years of creditable service. In addition, she's eligible for a reduced Social Security benefit, as well as a TSP benefit that's larger than what she would get retiring at 57 because she's made 5 additional years of contributions to her account, and she has a somewhat shorter actuarial life expectancy. In the final scenario that we'll be looking at, this employee retires at 67 after a federal career of 40 years. In this situation, she'll get a FERS annuity based on those 40 years of service, plus a full unreduced Social Security benefit. Also, with 10 additional years of TSP contributions compared to what she'd have retiring at 57, she'll have a significantly larger TSP account and potential benefit. Okay, now let's take a look at what she stands to get under each scenario. In the first scenario, she's retiring at 57 with 30 years of FERS service and withdrawing regular monthly payments from her TSP account. Now at 57, with 30 years of service and an average salary of $100,000, she'll get $30,000 in FERS annuity. She'll also be eligible to receive a FERS supplement of $14,175. This supplement is based on a percentage of her age 62 Social Security benefit estimate of $18,900, and in this case, based on 30 years of FERS service, she'll get 75% of that amount. Her actuarial life expectancy at 57 is 30 years, so she can draw 1/30th of her TSP balance. Note that her TSP balance has grown from $175,580 at age 40 to $608,500 at age 57 because she's been contributing 10% of her salary each year, reaping the additional benefit of the 5% agency matching contributions, and her account has grown significantly, but at a surprisingly modest annual rate of 2.5% a year. So her total potential compensation as a FERS retiree at 57 is, from FERS, $30,000 plus an annuity supplement of $14,175 and an annual withdrawal from her TSP account of $20,283. So her total annual benefit at 57 would be $64,458. This is 64.5% of her pre-retirement income. It falls below the 70 to 90% of pre-retirement income financial advisors recommend for post-retirement. So she would most likely work after she retires to supplement this retirement package. However, if she intends to work after she retires, she has to be mindful of the fact that her FERS annuity supplement will be subject to a reduction based upon the Social Security earnings ceiling. The earnings ceiling for 2014 is $15,480. This means that she could earn up to that amount in 2014 without reducing her FERS supplement. Earnings above that amount, however, would cause that supplement to be reduced, and the reduction would be $1 for every $2 she earned over the ceiling. Once again, her total compensation as a FERS retiree at 57 is $64,458. But she could work after she retires, earning up to the Social Security ceiling of $15,480 without penalty. And this would increase her total post-retirement income to nearly $80,000, or 80% of her average salary, well within the 70 to 90% replacement level recommended by financial advisors. Now let's look at the subset of that scenario. This is where she retires at 57 with 30 years of service, but does not apply for Social Security benefits or for TSP monthly payments until she turns 67. This assumes, of course, that she will almost certainly be working after she retires to supplement her FERS annuity until she turns 67. Her benefits would have grown by age 67. First of all, her FERS annuity would have grown by means of annual cost of living increases of 1.25% from age 62. That would result in an annuity of $32,321.50. The 1.25% COLA is a conservative guess at what the average COLA will be over time. Her Social Security benefit, no longer subject to the earnings ceiling, is at the full rate of $25,200 per year, and her actuarial life expectancy is now 20 years, so she will be able to withdraw a larger monthly payment from her TSP account. Additionally, that account balance will have grown untouched for 10 years to $688,986, so she can now begin a lifetime TSP withdrawal of $34,450 a year. So her total compensation at age 67 as a FERS employee who retired at age 57 and began Social Security and TSP payments at 67 would be $91,971.50 a year. In this scenario, at age 67, she would have post-retirement income equal to 92% of her pre-retirement income, which would be at the high end of the financial advisor's recommendation for a comfortable retirement income. Okay, now let's look at the next scenario. This is the one where she retires at 62 with 35 years of FERS service and begins her Social Security benefits and her monthly withdrawals from TSP when she retires. Her FERS annuity will be larger than if she retired at 57, of course, because of both her additional years of service and her eligibility now for the 1.1% formula because she is 62 with 20 years of service. So she would get $40,425 in her FERS annuity. Social Security, meanwhile, will pay her $18,900 at 62. But note that this benefit would be subject to that earnings ceiling of $15,480. And her TSP account has grown since she was 40 from $175,000 to $783,837. With an actuarial life expectancy of about 25 years, she could draw $31,353 a year. So her total compensation as a FERS retiree at 62 would be from FERS $40,425, from Social Security $18,900, and from TSP $31,353, for a combined total of $90,678, which compares nicely with the $91,971.50 she could get if she retired at age 57 but waited until 67 to take her Social Security and her TSP benefits. This is at the top end of that 70 to 90% replacement income recommended for comfortable retirement. Additionally, she could still continue working and earn up to $15,480 without causing a reduction in her Social Security benefit, and those earnings would put her total income over 100% of what she was making before she retired. Naturally, if she retires at 67 with 40 years of FERS service, as in this final scenario, her total benefit will be greater still. Her average salary would have increased to $110,000. Her FERS annuity would be $48,400, 40 years times 1.1% times her average salary. And her Social Security benefit at the full rate would be $25,200. Finally, her TSP account would have grown to nearly $1 million. So with an actuarial life expectancy of 20 years, she could draw $49,405 each year from her TSP account. So her total compensation, if she waited until 67 to retire, would be about $123,000, or about 112% of her pre-retirement income of $110,000, which is well above the 70 to 90% recommended. In addition, if she wanted to continue a post-retirement career, she could do so without her earnings affecting any part of her retirement benefit. Now, these are just examples of what FERS can offer you in retirement. They show the possibilities a FERS employee has to consider before retiring. The TSP growth was based on a consistent and very conservative rate of 2.5% a year. The cost of living increases for annuities was assumed to be 1.25%, and pay raises were assumed to be 1%. These figures could certainly be greater and almost certainly will not be lower in reality. Moreover, the percentages of pre-retirement income are relatively constant for any employee who contributes 10% of his or her earnings to TSP. So if your average salary is closer to $60,000 than to $100,000, you stand to get the same percentage of your pre-retirement income as shown in these scenarios. It is within your control. You can increase the amount of your total FERS benefits package by working for a longer period of time, by contributing more to TSP before you retire and letting your account balance continue to grow after you retire, and finally by applying for Social Security at your full retirement age, which is 66 or 67 depending on your year of birth. How much you get is largely up to the decisions that you make.